Merry Christmas. Welcome to our top 10 video of the year. I'm Andrea.
I'm Zach, and welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. So we're going to go through our top 10 of 2023. So some ground rules here. First of all, we have to have driven it in the calendar year. It has to be either all new or recently updated, refreshed for it to make our list. And we don't go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 all the way through to number one. How do we do it?
Well, we put it all in alphabetical order, but at the end, we pick our number one vehicle of the year, and that one is not in alphabetical order.
So alphabetical order and one overall winner for our vehicle or car of the year. All right, so because this is going to run after Christmas Day, we'll do the next part without the hats.
Up first in alphabetical order is the BMW X1. I was so impressed with this new vehicle. Not only is it fun to drive, it's comfortable. Although the technology is all new and there aren't a lot of hard buttons anymore, it was easy enough to use.
So the X1 has been an absolute smash for BMW, and you must know that the subcompact space is one of the fastest growing categories in the auto industry, and BMW invented the subcompact SUV. The X1 has been around for a long time, so they've been perfecting it. This one is fantastic. It runs on premium gas. And it hustles along.
Yeah, and it's spacious as well. Like, you'd be surprised if you're sitting in the second row how much space that you have. I think it's really well done, and that's why it made our top 10.
Oh yeah, we've got an EV on the list. Up next in alphabetical order is the Cadillac LyriQ, and it's a Cadillac on the list as well. And boy, we were impressed. It took a long time to finally get this car to drive it because the rollout of the LyriQ has been really quite slow, but it was worth the wait because it impressed us a lot.
And it looks really good. I think it's got a great exterior design. It looks like a Cadillac, so it really blends in with their fleet with a great stance to it, a little bit aggressive, nice looking vehicle. Comfortable as well. The interior fit and finish is quite nice, and once again the technology is easy enough to use.
Yeah, the interior is beautiful. The fit and finish, the materials, all first rate. Cadillac did a very good job, and also when they brought this vehicle out, they came up with a very competitive price. Even though it's a luxury brand and it does have a luxury interior, when you start cross-shopping it with other premium electric SUVs, there's actually some good value here. You can buy all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, different ranges depending on your budget. Overall, we were very impressed with it.
And with any electric vehicle, it feels planted. Acceleration is fantastic, whether you get that rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive model. I think the range is pretty good. Great torque number to it. All in all, it is such a good package.
The only thing is they were so slow in rolling it out. I think the first year they only made a few thousand of them, and they are increasing production. But it has been a slow rollout. So as much as we liked it, it might be harder to get.
Number 3 on our list is the Chevrolet Trax. This one, for affordability, is so difficult to beat. Excellent value. Cute looking and comfortable.
Yeah, but what about the car, Andrew? That's an old joke. The thing is, let's just go through the numbers, Canada and the United States. In the United States, every single Chevrolet Trax is under $24,000. That's the most you can spend. And in the Canadian market, now in Canada, the new regulations include freight and PDI for the pricing. The most expensive one is $31,000. And it has different looks depending on what trim you get. It's a subcompact utility, but it's really quite large, especially backseat and cargo area.
This is a front-wheel drive model, so it may not work for everyone, but we do believe with a good set of winter tires, you should be just fine. If you want an all-wheel drive model, this might not be the right pick for us, but it made our list because of its affordability at a time when people are really struggling right now to put food on their table and pay their bills. If you do need a new vehicle, you don't have to go for the top trim. You can get a nice, well-equipped Chevrolet Trax.
Under the hood is a turbo 3-cylinder, which might shock a lot of people. And when you drive it, you have no idea. The torque number is excellent.
It has an automatic transmission, and yeah, the torque number is what really makes the difference in this vehicle. Try it before you knock it. because you just may like
It'll
it.
surprise you.
Now, we will have a number one pick at the end, but we are going to do 9 vehicles in alphabetical order. And next up is the Honda Pilot.
This is a vehicle that does everything really well. Is it absolutely crushing it in any one category? Maybe not, but the sum of its parts makes it a compelling package. Now, we knocked Honda over the last couple of years for being very aggressive with new pricing, putting the pricing up. But then Pilot showed up on the scene, and when Andrea did all the research and she started cross-referencing it with what else is in the marketplace, Honda is actually, in this case with this product, really quite competitive.
Yeah, very competitive with pricing, whether it's the base model or the top trim. And what I really like about the Pilot as a family hauler is that every trim has a bench seat, and you can remove that middle seat and you can store it in the trunk. They have a space underneath the floor, which is quite nice for that. So I think that that is something that people are looking for in a family hauler. It's an 8-passenger vehicle. I would say the interior is fairly nice. I think that there are other brands in this category that have nicer interiors, but like Zach said, as an all-rounder, it does quite a bit well.
The trend in this category is the mid-size 3-row SUVs are slowly shifting towards turbo 4 cylinders as their base engine. Honda, along with the Korean cousins, the Palisade and the Telluride, still producing V6s. This is a good old 3.5 liter, naturally aspirated V6 with a 10-speed automatic transmission. It's kind of old school technology in a newer package, and that will also appeal to a lot of people.
And good towing capacity because of that V6. So if you're interested in a family hauler that can tow as well, this Pilot is a really good option.
What's our overall number one pick, Andrea?
Gotta wait.
Next up is one we just drove a week ago, and that's the all-new Kia EV9, the full electric 3-row SUV. And in the non-luxury category, this is the first brand to come to market with a full 3-row electric vehicle. So congrats to Kia.
Yeah, in that non-luxury category, there just really isn't any sort of competition for Kia at this time. What I was impressed with, first off, acceleration. We know with an electric vehicle, you've got that instant acceleration. It is comfortable. The turning radius is excellent. Maneuverability is very good. But I was impressed with the trim. We did drive the top GT line, but it's really impressive. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be this good.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to list below in the description a link for every video.
Yeah, good idea.
For all 10 vehicles. And if you go and watch the EV9, you will see that we said that if it wasn't a Kia, you could put a luxury badge on the front of it. The interior and the drive and the way it's all put together could easily pass as a luxury brand.
It has a real open feel to it. The storage is quite good in it. I think the only complaint that we probably both have is that the top trims are only 6-passenger vehicles. They come with captain's chairs. You don't get a bench seat. So if you were looking for a 7-passenger on those higher trims with all the bells and whistles, you're not going to get it with the EV9.
You can't go anywhere else, Andrew, because nobody else is offering an EV 3-row SUV yet. The only one that's coming, which really isn't an SUV, is the ID Buzz from Volkswagen. That's supposed to come this year, but that's not an SUV.
Or you've got to move into the luxury brands like the EX90 from Volvo, which we haven't even driven yet. So we'll wait and see. But good on Kia. They have produced an excellent product, and we will continue to promote it.
So we are doing this alphabetically, so you're going to see some repetition in brands. We just had the Kia EV9. Now we go to the other end of the spectrum, subcompact SUV. Seltos makes our list because this thing, as an overall package, is almost hard to beat.
is it ever hard to beat. It has so many features on the higher trims available, like ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, a power passenger seat, driver's seat memory, a power tailgate, which many of its competitors have a few of those, but not that total package. And then there's value. There's also a turbocharged engine, a non-turbo, so you have a lot of variety.
So one thing you might be thinking, wait a second, isn't the Seltos and the Hyundai Kona, are they kind of cousin vehicles? Yes, they are.
Yeah.
But they didn't check all the same boxes that Kia did when they developed their product. Things like power liftgate, not available in the Kona. Heated rear seats, not available in the Kona. So when you start adding up all of the available features and the price they charge for it, which is less than the Hyundai, in the Canadian market especially, it's a winner. That's why it's on the list.
Yeah, comfortable, pretty spacious for a subcompact SUV. I think that it is a good pick if you're interested in that category. Still in the subcompact category, our next pick is the Subaru Crosstrek. We recently drove the wilderness. We did a little bit of off-roading. While that also checks a lot of the boxes, Subaru offers an incredible all-wheel drive system. It has great safety features. It's spacious, it's comfortable. Here's another one that does a lot well.
Yeah, it's really hard to fault it in any one category. The only thing it has is a continuously variable transmission. That's really the only knock against the product. So even when you look at this, you think to yourself, is that really all new? It is. It doesn't look it, and they're staying with the formula because it's been so successful for them. And the nice thing about Crosstrek is, even though it's in the subcompact class, it's like subcompact plus. You get a little bit extra space in the second row. Cargo isn't huge, but it's got a nice big square opening. So you've got two engine choices. You've got a 2-liter, you've got a 2.5-liter. It does everything very well. Now, the only knock I would say against Crosstrek, Andrea, is they put up the price this year.
They did, and it doesn't offer all the features as something like a Seltos, like a power liftgate or a power passenger seat or driver's seat memory, but it does other things really well. So I think that's important. I think it's pretty cute looking. I like the wilderness model, but the interesting thing about Subaru is they kind of just tweak their models. They listen to consumers, to people who love their products, and they continually tweak it to make it better. Whereas Kia and Hyundai, they
blow it up. They'll blow it all up.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is, this has got amazing following. So people who live in areas where you get a lot of snow.
Yeah.
Crosstrek is just a go-to for many, many families. You get the extra ground clearance, you get the all-wheel drive system. They have really good safety features. So for a lot of people, it's kind of like a default buy, and we get it.
Yeah. So now we're at T. And there might be more than one T. Let me tell you why after I announce this next vehicle is the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. Now, we all know that Toyota launched a whole bunch of new vehicles in 2023, and I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with what they've come out with.
And also, they have more categories than anybody else.
Yeah.
They have sports cars, they have vans, they've got trucks, they've got SUVs. So they've got more SKUs if you're in sales than everybody else. So they kind of overrepresent on our list. And this Corolla Cross Hybrid was a vehicle that just did everything really well. We drove it for a week. We drove it at the launch, and we liked it. But then when we got it home and drove it for a week, I was parking it anywhere, getting amazing fuel economy. I walked away with it saying, that isn't fancy. It's not fancy.
Not fancy.
But boy, it just ticks a lot of boxes.
And it's priced in Canada under $40,000. It gets good fuel economy, so you're always going to save money on fuel. And I just like the overall product.
I can understand why somebody would say, okay, there's not much of a jump in price to go from this to, say, a RAV4 hybrid. But for somebody that has to maneuver maybe an underground parking lot, you're in a busy metro area, you have to park it easily, someone would like this form function over a larger RAV4. And I think it just does a good job.
And I think that's just what you said, Zach, is there is a difference in size. That's why there's subcompact and that's why there's compact. Because some people just don't want to move into the compact category. So I think this is a great option, and it is a hybrid. So there's only one more to go before we announce our final pick, our number one pick of 2023. So next up is the Toyota Tacoma. First off, I got to go back to when we reviewed the old Tacoma and just how uncomfortable it was. I didn't like the transmission in it. I know that it has a massive following and people will buy it because it is a Tacoma, but now I can really get behind this new Tacoma. Not only is it comfortable, the automatic transmission shifts smoothly. I think that Toyota did such a terrific job with the Tacoma.
We're former Toyota Tacoma owners, and one of the biggest problems as a former owner is the seating position on the older Tacoma was too low. And when you would sit for a long period of time, your legs were out straight and it strains your back. Now they moved the seat position up by 30 millimeters. They raised the roof by 30 millimeters. So you have a more upright seating position. So on comfort, the interior is more comfortable. Andrea mentioned the 8-speed automatic transmission, and the big news is they've gotten rid of the V6 naturally aspirated. They've gone to a turbo 4, and it just delivers more power and more torque. I think it's 1700 RPM off the top of my head is where peak torque comes in. So it's a more usable engine for everyday situations, and we can't wait to drive the hybrid version of it in the spring. But right now, Toyota Tacoma is the best seller in this category, and it's going to continue.
And I'm also really happy that Toyota continued with a manual transmission for this model. Yeah, it's not available on all trims. It's on select trims, but good on them for keeping it because they could have easily eliminated it. We see many manufacturers starting to eliminate manual transmissions.
I got one gripe, Andrea.
Yeah?
One major gripe is the access cab is gone.
I know.
That's the one we had where the sort of barn doors open this way and you can slide things in and out. And it was really just used for dry storage.
Really was.
Well, they've gotten rid of the doors, those little doors at the back. And now if you want to access that space behind the front seats, you have to slide this seat forward and maneuver it in there. So that is my major gripe. The number one thing is, the number one seller is the 4-door.
Yeah.
They know that.
They said that.
That's what everybody wants anyway. So I might be the outlier wanting an access cab, but there you go.
And our number one pick, number one vehicle for us for 2023, we had to have driven these vehicles, is the Toyota Grand Highlander.
Yeah, we have driven it now a couple of times. We drove it at the launch event where we had a chance to drive the base gas turbo engine, the regular hybrid, and then the hybrid max system. And then we had the hybrid max back here for a full week. And the combination of driving 4 different units, it just adds up to be an absolute smash and a home run. So let's just explain what Grand Highlander is. The Highlander is still being sold. That's the regular 3-row SUV. So they made a bigger Highlander, and it is big, right?
It's big. It's the size really of the Atlas. So you've got some good 3rd-row legroom, which is comfortable enough for an adult. I wouldn't say for a long road trip, but comfortable enough. And then the cargo space behind that 3rd row is also very good. And so people who want a larger family hauler, this is a good option. What I like is the 3 powertrains. Not only do you have a gas model, but you have a 2.5-liter hybrid model that gets excellent fuel economy. And then you've got the hybrid max powertrain, which is really my favorite. And that interior is very Lexus-like. It has Lexus materials. In fact, we even said we would just buy the Grand Highlander Hybrid Max over the Lexus TX. So there's a lot of options. We ran into a viewer while we were filming, and she has a Grand Highlander hybrid on order. And she said, you know, Andrea, in your video, you said when you're on the highway, you know, it doesn't accelerate as fast as the Hybrid Max. And I said, yeah, that's correct. But think about the great fuel economy you're getting with that 2.5-liter hybrid.
And she had her little baby with her. And I said, what are you going to be doing with this? Just driving around. She was taking the kid to the community center, play date, second of stuff. Hybrid's perfect. Okay. the other thing, before I get back to the powertrains, the other thing is I love the fact, okay, it's big, it's actually quite good looking,
Yeah.
it's versatile, and they have a conventional dash with real switches and real buttons and a real shifter, and it's all the kind of stuff that I still like. This thing is going to be an absolute smash hit for Toyota if you can get one. I like the base turbo 4-cylinder. I know that you like the Hybrid Max. Now it's a lot more money. I'm really was taken by the base 2.4 turbo. I think it does an amazing job.
I actually think the turbocharged 4-cylinders that Toyota is bringing out now are very good. Zach and I did not miss the V6 when we drove it, but the Hybrid Max powertrain is this great combination of performance and fuel economy, which really suits my needs because I really am a big fan of the way vehicles drive. Some people will buy a vehicle based on fuel economy or reliability or comfort level. We all have different needs and wants, and that Toyota Grand Highlander will fit everybody's needs and wants with the different powertrains.
So great product, great packaging, but the fact that they came to market with 3 powertrains for all of those different types of buyers out of the gate absolutely sealed the deal for this. There's no vehicle that we drove in the past 12 months that can even come close to how impressed we were with it.
And the Lexus TX has a plug-in hybrid option, so we are hoping that maybe the Grand Highlander will get it as well. I think that will be a massive hit for Toyota as well.
So there's our list, our top 10. I guess you could say 9 plus our overall pick. What do you think of that list? I'm sure some people, you missed this, you missed that. Listen, we had to have driven it. It had to be new or updated for this year. And we had to like it to make our list. There were some that almost made it, but you know what? We're going with our 10.
These are our picks and what we liked most in 2023.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, and thanks for watching. Thank you so much for all your support throughout the year. We wouldn't be here without you.